Drop down below in the comments if you think Harold and Jessica should be on CNN, okay? Do you think that they should be here on Fox News? Let me know down below in the comments. I certainly think that Jessica Tarlov is unhinged and Harold Ford Jr. is more of a slick lefty. That's how he strikes me. So there's that. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And drop down below in the comments if you guys think that, we would have stood a chance in Kamala's America, okay? Since the Democrats are fighting us on Trump and saying that Trump is sinking everything, I definitely don't think that. I definitely think that if this was Kamala Harris, America would be 6 feet under, quite frankly. So there's that. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and let's jump right into the video.
Panicans can take a hike. Deal-making Donnie is ready to talk while hanging out with the coal miners today. Countries are rushing to the negotiating table in the hopes of striking a deal over tariffs, 70 and counting, with places like Japan, an actual country, Dana, set to get priority in trade talks after their leader had a polite phone call with 47. And Trump says there's more to come.
We're doing very well in making, I call them tailored deals, not off the rack. These are tailored, highly tailored deals. Right now, Japan is flying here to make a deal. South Korea is flying here to make a deal, and others are flying here. I mean, my only problem is I'm not sure I have enough. If I told them about making those deals 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago, they'd be laughing at us. Now they're all signing up.
The greatest president ever, telling other nations the water is warm. And just like one of Kilmeade's parties, you don't want to be the last one in the hot tub.
President Trump has a spine of steel, and he will not break, and America will not break under his leadership. He is guided by a firm belief that America must be able to produce essential goods for our own people and export them to the rest of the world.
I think that right now we're managing a massive number of requests for negotiations.
I've seen the call list at the White House, and it's substantial. We were having a discussion last night about which countries to prioritize, and I think you are going to see some very large countries with large trade deficits come forward very quickly.
Nerds. And MSNBC finding a way to smear Trump voters as racist amid the tariff negotiations.
And we chose a felon because we didn't want to elect a black woman.
Oh my gosh.
So to read that,
I can't believe this is why I brought up Kamala Harris, because that right there is just insane and unhinged right there. Okay, you got to be kidding me. And they're dead serious. That's the even worse part. All right. Then pushing for Jasmine Crockett, another super unhinged liberal. It's insane. Let me know what you guys think about Kamala Harris and Jasmine Crockett down below in the comments.
to actually explicate that is to say we would rather destroy the republic than for that to have happened.
Well, that's not hyperbole, Dana.
No, it's not.
He's sane.
I mean, what would he have said, 10 years ago if he believed what the left believed was that this was a great strategy?
Yeah.
Would he have been wrong then or right then? I mean, this is the thing that kind of drives me crazy. Like, I've been consistent. I said I'm skeptical of the whole thing. But I would also add this. We need the deregulation to continue under DOGE and at the cabinet agencies, not just with DOGE, but that is going to definitely help the economy in the long run. Number two, we absolutely need to figure out the budget and the tax cuts, get those done. The Congress is trying to work that out. I think that they're getting closer, but we had, I think, 10 to 12 Republicans who are saying, I don't like this whole way that this is going. They took them to the White House today and tried to put the squeeze on them. I don't know if that will work. And then you have the trade thing. So there's three prongs of this strategy. You actually need all of them to work. You might not like one of them. You might like two of them. But if this is going to work the way the White House says it's going to work, you actually need all three, and they need to be moving at the same time. And it would be helpful, I think, for everybody if the messaging was consistent. And it is interesting and kind of fun to watch internal White House arguments. Those usually happen behind closed doors. Right now, we're watching them right there in front of us, which is pretty open and transparent, unlike what you've seen in previous administrations, for better or worse. If it is a negotiation or it's not a negotiation, on and on, my bottom line is this. The Congress needs to figure out the tax cut thing, and quickly, You have to have the cabinet agencies moving forward on deregulation, and then hopefully the trade thing gets worked out pretty soon.
It
and
is
then you
great.
have all three prongs.
It's a great point. We are watching the actual fighting in front of us.
The sausage is being made right in front of you.
Yes, and before, they just hid Biden. His decay from us, Jesse. I think that the media and politicians in general are just shocked that a president is fulfilling his promises. Isn't that like it's no surprise to anybody who voted for him that this was going to happen. He told you this was going to happen. And like Dana said, you might not like one thing, but the overarching thing is what you voted for.
And it's what Democrats have been voting for decades. And Trump's actually the one doing it. You said something yesterday, Greg, and you reminded me of Ross Perot.
Ah, yes.
Not your size, but what you said. And I look back at the debate with Bush and Clinton, and Ross was in the middle, and he said, you could have our companies go south, and they could pay workers $1 an hour, not give them any health care, have no environmental regulations, have no pension, and you can make a ton of money. And what you're going to hear is a giant sucking sound coming south. And that's what happened. And the sucking sound also came from the east, and that's China. And now you're seeing what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to destroy China. Because if you break the Chinese economy, you put America back on top. Remember, the Chinese thought they were going to overtake us. It's not going to happen if this thing goes through. If you can cut off their exports, they're toast. You can't export all these cheap products here. You're definitely not going to sell them into Europe because they don't have the consumer power. And so the Chinese economy, they can't consume their own stuff because they don't have enough wealth and they don't have enough families, to be honest with you. And so you're going to have to lay people off. And then the whole country is going to disintegrate. So that's a good thing. And then you're breaking China off from Russia because this Chinese economy is feeding the Russians. And right now you drop oil to $60 a barrel. So it starves Putin's war machine. And then you separate those two countries. So look what we're doing also at the same time in the Middle East. You have the Syrians, now they're on our side. They're proxies, now ours. And then you have carriers surrounding the Iranians. And we're saying you better negotiate, not nuke up, or we'll bomb, bomb, bomb. And if they can do a deal there, that's the second Russian proxy that falls. And we'll get that Iranian oil back on the world market, and it keeps the price of oil going lower. We need cheap energy. And then the Europeans, they don't have another game. They have to sell here. They can't sell it anywhere else. And what you're seeing is the EU trade bloc starting to break. Hungary's trying to do a bilateral deal. Your English are going to start trying to just negotiate directly with us. And it splits Germany from France. And then you throw in the Greenland thing.
Of course.
And then you throw in the NATO thing, because right now Pete Hegseth's going, we might bring some troops home. So they're really off kilter. You've now surrounded the Chinese. They thought the Chinese were going to cut deals with the Japanese and the South Koreans. Didn't happen. Thought it was going to cut deals with the Europeans. Didn't happen. And Trump sent Hegseth down to the Panama Canal. He's saying it's ours. And we're wrestling TikTok away from that country, too. Everything is moving perfectly at the same time. But Dana's right. You have to have the tax and regulation cuts in order to finish it off.
That was very thorough. I wasn't listening, but it sounded thorough.
It's the giant sucking sound. We're trying to stop that.
Yes, the Jesse sound, as we call it here. So, Harold, your hero, Jim Cramer, said that the stock market action predicted a Kamala Harris victory last year. He also told people in 2012 to sell Netflix. And then he said that Monday was going to be a Black Monday. Why do we listen to these people? Why do they continue to lie to us? Why do we take them seriously? These are your people, Harold, your so-called financial experts. I don't even think I'm going to let you answer that question.
Good to be back with you. I listen to these guys, and I listen to people talk politics. I listen to people talk sports. I listen to people talk business. And then you know what? You actually watch the game. Mm-hmm. And we've had the game be played now congratulations to the Gators, by the way. We have the game be played in the markets. Since Inauguration Day, we've lost $12 trillion in our market, almost a little more than $12 trillion. Number two, the S&P, which is the collection of 500 of the biggest companies in the country, and people invest in that part of the market. It's now below 5,000 for the first time in a year.
And so it was lower a year ago.
It was.
Okay.
So, but you can be critical.
When you said how many trillion did you say?
12 trillion.
What's the total out of the total? I'm curious. I don't know.
It's probably about 80 trillion. So
Okay.
we've lost 12. Now, we said we want to break China. We want to break China. And we think we might. The problem is we may break ourselves first. Now, I think when the president talks about this, the thing that confounds me the most is he makes it seem that there's a binary choice for us to be able to do the things that all of us around this table, I think we can agree on. We want more jobs in America. We want to produce more things here. And we want to produce more critical things here so we don't have to rely on any nation to do that for us, whether it's a pandemic or not. The challenge is there have to be other options in order to achieve this. I listened to Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, this morning. And I tell you, he gave the market some confidence. The market opened tall this morning. It was regaining and trying to gain some of the momentum back. And then what happened late this afternoon, message came out of the White House. I think it might have been from the press secretary, who I'm impressed with, Carolyn Levitt. She said that the President Trump is committed to placing an additional set of tariffs on China this evening at midnight, which would actually take the tariff rate up on Chinese goods to 104%. That's when the market began to turn. Now, you don't have to be that smart to realize that maybe small business leaders, big business leaders, consumers, retail investors, they didn't like that. So if that is the challenge, the president ought to be more focused or solely focused on getting a deal with other countries or getting a deal with China or getting a deal with countries that will force China to come to the table. I just don't want to see us lose another $5 to $7 trillion. I don't know how you get a deal once you've lost $20 trillion that actually helps the very people that you really want to help. I'm not rooting against you, Mr. President. I'm rooting for you. And in a part of rooting for you, I'm saying to you, suggesting to you, maybe try a different tact than what you're trying right now.
You're saying you're non-binary.
I'm saying... That's your takeaway?
Yes.
I think it's crazy how, they're crying over, like the money and the economy and stuff like that. But, I just really think back to Bidenomics. I remember Bidenomics and we lived through Kamala's Scamala, okay? And, it's just funny that all of a sudden they care now and they act like, it matters to them. But Biden was literally taking our money and giving it to other countries, not putting the American people first at all. And then when you see Trump putting the American people first and doing risky moves to put America in a better position, all of a sudden everybody wants to freak out and panic because, somebody actually cares about America. Well, the Democrats is everybody I'm talking about, okay? The Democrats are freaking out because it's like, wait a minute. He's messing up our plans, everything we did, everything we accomplished. He's ruining it. He's ruining the country. And Orange Man bad. Just, but really, ultimately, it's just a Trump hate train. Okay, they need something to talk about. They need something to hate, someone to hate. And it's very hypocritical, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And I personally would still rather see Trump, make these moves and see how they play out rather than live through Bidenomics, rather than live through Kamala Harris, Biden like 2.0, Obama's fourth term.
Judge, I don't think there's any leader in my lifetime that's decided to risk his approval to make hard decisions. I think that this is not a decision that is superficially virtuous or vacuous. And I don't think the media understands that.
No, they don't understand that, and they don't understand Donald Trump. Look, Donald Trump is winning the day, okay? The day started off well. And for all those people who said last week, he needs to back off the tariffs, they don't understand Donald Trump. Donald Trump does not back off anything. And right now, we've got countries that are willing to deal, countries that are willing to negotiate, countries that are calling him up, flying over here to deal with him. And, when people say, the people on the left, and I'm not talking about you, Harold, but people who say, it's all about the rich people and all this nonsense. Donald Trump went around this country. He traveled the country, talked with real Americans every day, and he understands the shrimpers who lost out to Southeast Asia, and he understands the ranchers who are losing out to Australia, and he understands the steel issue and how important it is to our national security because he's been through COVID, and he understands the supply chain. But if Donald Trump only cared about himself and lining the pockets of the rich, why would he be fighting like he's fighting right now? Why would he be doing doing what he did in the White House today with those coal miners. And let me tell you something. Donald Trump knows where the short hairs are, and he knows where to pull them.
Ouch.
Okay? Yeah. And in the end, what you've got is, you remember during the Biden administration, all those coal plants that were being developed in China to build those lithium batteries for those electric cars, they can't supply the coal that they need for those coal-powered plants. They need America. Donald Trump knows it. China doesn't have the ability to purchase the way we have the ability. So, you know what? And let's not be so quick to forget where we were with the Biden administration, with interest rates were at 7%. Costs outpaced wages. And the millenniums didn't care about their credit cards because they figured we could never afford a house. So these tariffs are literally a transition to the golden age.
We're going to throw Gen Z in there too. Yeah, you know, getting a house is like goodbye.
The man is negotiating, offering concessions to some countries. And you know what? If you want to retaliate, good luck to you, because Donald Trump is not panicked, and neither should we be, because he's bringing us to the golden age, Harold, and that's the end of it.
2 more days of this, and we'll be longing for the Biden day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yikes.
All right.
Wow. I actually cannot believe he just said that. Wow. Yeah, he's unhinged too. Okay. They're all unhinged. But like the liberals, Jessica and Harold, that's insane. You know, are you guys wishing for the Biden-Harris administration? The abomination of the Biden-Harris administration. Do you guys miss it? Do you miss Jurassic Joe on the beach eating chocolate ice cream? Okay, sending our tax dollars to foreign countries and funding these wars and all types of nonsense and rubbing Zelensky's tummy and telling him to roll over and all types of stuff? Or is it the other way around with Biden? Okay, I think Joe Biden was just a straight vegetable, and yeah, bro did not care about the country. He did not care about the country at all. Okay, he was literally just a puppet for them to execute Order 66 on America. All right, that's really what it was. That's exactly what it was. And then you have Ku Klux Kamala Harris out here ready to put the final nail in the coffin with the country. So if it wasn't for Trump, I think we'd be definitely 6 feet under by now. And yeah, we'd still be helping Zelensky and all these other nations and stuff like that. And America would be just lower than the Titanic. Okay, deeper in the ocean, deeper underwater than the Titanic. Okay, that's my personal thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I definitely think about Trump's tariffs that it's something, I want to see through. Okay, I don't think it'll be like the entire year necessarily. I definitely personally believe that it will be for a period of time. It's more like a seasonal thing. Like for this season, this is what we got to do. We got to make the tough decisions to get to the gold, to get to the prosperity. That's kind of how I see it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I think Trump has the strength and boldness to do what a lot of the other presidents couldn't do or wouldn't do. Okay. And definitely not Joe Biden. Definitely not Obama. All right. And yeah. So that's that, guys. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for all donations. I appreciate you guys. Drop down below in the comments what you guys think. I look forward to seeing what you have to say. As always, you guys are awesome. Don't ever forget it. And have a great and awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.